Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing a hybrid rinseless wash on the Grand Prix here. I had this in the queue, I just forgot about it, and that's a hybrid rinseless wash using both American Detailer Garage products. We have Fuzion and Wipeout. So I have dedicated videos for each product, if you guys can go watch those. So today we're going to be using the hybrid rinseless wash. The reason I say it's a hybrid is because we're going to do a foaming pre-soak, and then we're going to come back and follow with a traditional rinseless wash at the same time. So again, I have dedicated videos for each one. Both products work very well as rinseless washes. You can use either one by itself as a pre-soak. For example, if I was using Wipeout, you can this is your traditional rinseless wash concentrate. Very versatile. This one has the traditional 256:1 dilution. Detail spray waterless wash, interior cleaner, glass cleaner. Works really well. So you're going to get more uses out of this in terms of, because the dilution is so low, 256:1 versus Fuzion, which has a dilution of 120:1. So for those of you in the US, it's 1 ounce per gallon versus 1 ounce per 2 gallons of water. But the benefit with Fuzion is it can foam. So if you have a foam cannon, you can use it full strength. If you're going to be using it as a foaming pre-soak, like what I'm going to do today, the dilution is 20:1, which is essentially 1 part product and 20 parts water. Now, you're going to need a foaming pump sprayer of some sort in order to do this. So if I'm going to be setting up Fuzion, which I'll do that in a second here, I'm going to set up Wipeout, and so all I'm going to do is I'm going to take 30 milliliters because I have 2 gallons of water in this bucket here. I'm just going to shake this up, just kind of mix up the chemical, and I'm just going to mix up 30 milliliters of product. Around there. So it's 30 milliliters. Just dump it in here. Okay, just mix it in here, and that's all you need. So I'm just going to go ahead and rinse the little container out. Okay, now for Fuzion, I'm not going to use that much in here. I'm probably just going to throw in about 40 milliliters of product in here. Just kind of mess around. Again, this has almost 2,000 milliliters of water, which is close to about 64-ish ounces, I believe. I forget how much this Marolix pump sprayer can hold in here, but it's around 60. So if you want to use the Omni calculator, if you put in all the numbers in here, 1 to 20, and your final volume is 2,000 milliliters here, you're going to be using 95 milliliters of product. Or if you want to just change it to ounces here, it's going to be 3.2 ounces of product, which is kind of quite a bit of product. So rather than doing that, so your final volume is 64 ounces there. Rather than doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw in about, like I said, 40 milliliters of product, just enough to give us some sort of foaming to start breaking down the surface and encapsulating the dirt. So maybe I'll just throw in, I'll throw in 40 milliliters of product in here, and we'll see how that foams rather than putting 95, because 95 is quite a bit of product. So this stuff's heavily concentrated. Like I said, I've used it quite a bit. I'm actually going to buy another bottle because I do like both of these products. So once I use Fuzion up, I'll buy another bottle. Wipeouts, I still have quite a bit to go, because again, the dilution is really what sets it apart from Fuzion. Okay, so let me just shake this up in here just to kind of mix it up. And I'm going to go ahead and pump this up before we go outside. So I'm going to be using the Ultra Black sponge. Somebody was asking me which sponge I prefer. I actually do like that one because of the ergonomics. Somebody was telling me that they like the McKee's Gold Sponge. So I'm actually going to probably pick one up, because I'm probably going to pick up a couple other rinseless washes you know, I'm almost out of the Adams stuff, so it gives me a chance to buy a couple other rinseless washes. I have a couple in mind to try out and kind of see which one I want to try here. I'm actually probably gonna buy like 2 or 3 other ones, and then we'll try those out. We'll see how those compare. Okay, so I think I have this pumped up just enough. Okay, because I can hear the air coming out of the relief thing. So drying aid today, I'm going to use Carpro Echo. And once I get to the tires, I'm going to be using Carpro Pearl undiluted. So we'll clean that up shortly. So let me take this out there. Okay, so we're going to just show you Fuzion. We'll see how 40 milliliters of product foams up. Okay, so because there wasn't that much air in there, so because I don't have that much product for the amount of water in there, it's not as foamy. Let me just go ahead and kind of just spray that down. I'm running out of air. Because I parked in the shade, I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit more surface area. If you want to get the most foam out of this thing, you're going to have to pump it up pretty thoroughly. Like I'm just throwing a few pumps here and there. I'm actually going to foam half this car. You can see it foams up pretty well. Okay, so you can see the foam is starting to break down here. So the next part is you're just going to take your rinseless wash into your sponge and go over the surface. going to use one bucket here. And you can see most of the foam is taken off the surface. Yeah, you're probably going to have a little bit of these little bead droppings stuck on. They're, you know, they're a little bit more stubborn. And just keep doing your thing. So depending on your temperature, humidity, you can actually work quite a bit of sections here. Without any problems. Throw some foam up there. Normally I'd bring the buckets with me, but it's fine. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And what I'm going to do next is take the drying aid portion. Like I said, today I'm going to be using CarPro Echo. I'm not going to use it on the glass. What I've noticed with the Art to Shine is glass coating doesn't play well with certain products. It just becomes a bit too smeary. Okay, we come back with a secondary towel. I'll tell you, this top here is starting to get clear coat failure again after 5 years after the respray, which is kind of a bummer. And it's only up there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just wrap that piece with black vinyl. So one thing I'm going to do on the glass, I'm going to show you that real quick. I'm just take some glass cleaner. Just make sure that this thing's open. Put this down for a second. And I have a waffle weave towel here. I think this is the McGuire's waffle weave towel. I'm just going to clean the glass. I said that Art to Shine one hasn't been playing well with certain products. It didn't like CS3. And I forget what other product I tried to use on it. It just didn't like it. Just come back with a secondary towel and clean that off. Look at the back window while I'm at it. Okay, so that's what we're doing for the glass. You can see I picked up some residual dirt from that didn't come off during the rinseless portion. That's when people freak out that they see dirt coming off. Okay, I'll flip this towel to dry side. Like I said, you got these little bead droppings here. It's loose. Okay, and then we get underneath the light. Take your secondary towel. Just come back and buff off any excess residue here. Come back and to the back. I'm going to come back at the spoiler at the end because it just has too much water on here in the bird bath there. So what I'm going to do, I'll probably just do that after. See all this water that drips through? It's because the spoiler is raised up a little bit because I have a gasket on the bottom, and so some of that is just a solution coming out. And so what I end up doing is I pop the trunk lid open and let it drip out on from this side. So I'm going to let it drip out for a while, and then I'll come back when I clean the jams of the trunk here. Then I'll touch that up. And if you have foam in here, you can, you know, just put the edge of your towel in there and clean that up. And that's pretty much it. I mean, that's it for the hybrid rinseless wash portion. Get this foam here. That's it for the hybrid rinseless with the American Detailer Garage products. Again, I'm just using the Fuzion as the pre-soak, Wipeout as the rinseless wash, and just go around the vehicle, and it does clean well. Come back with your drying aid of choice if you so choose to use one. Again, you don't need one with this product. The other option you could do is just take a trigger sprayer, dunk it into your Rinseless Wash solution when you're making it, and you can use that as your drying aid. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the hybrid Rinseless Wash. Like I said, both products are good. I tend to use Fuzion for the foaming aspect, then I'll use Wipeout like I'm doing now here with the Rinseless Wash portion, because I do like the foaming aspect of Fuzion, the way it clings to the surface, starts encapsulating dirt, you can see it in the foam, and then it just tends to stick longer onto the surface versus a product that doesn't foam, like if I was using Wipeout by itself. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, just go around the vehicle, continue doing your thing. I'm going to go ahead and finish the other side of the car here. Normally when I use a foaming product, I will do the roof first, because I do the top portions first, because it tends to get overspray. Like you can see the overspray I have on this side, and so when I do the other side, I'm going to get overspray on this. So I tend to work from the top and then to the sides here, because it's just it's less messy. But yeah, overall the car's looking good, and I'll repeat the same process on the wheels. I think today I'm going to probably use finally a pure rinseless on the actually no, I'm going to just go ahead and use an iron remover, and then I'm going to use the same thing, foaming with Fuzion, cleaning with Wipeout, and then that's pretty much it. So maybe I'll show you that wash process as well. So let me get back to it, and I'll come back and show you the wheels. Welcome back. So final thoughts on the American Detailer Garage hybrid rinseless wash. The reason I call it a hybrid again is because I'm using Fuzion as a foaming pre-soak, then I'm coming back with Wipeout as your traditional rinseless wash method. The reason for that is because the foam tends to kind of stick longer to the painted surface, giving it more time to encapsulate and emulsify the dirt on the surface, so that when I come back with Wipeout and the ultra black sponge that I was using, that's carried off more off the paint versus just using something like Wipeout, which will beat on the surface and won't lay as flat as the foaming capability. In order to take advantage of Fuzion and the foaming aspect of it, you're going to need some sort of tool to foam it. For example, a foaming pump sprayer. If you want to put it in a foam can, if you're using a foam can, you're going to use it at full strength. So just kind of know that going forward. Now, I was playing around with the amount of Fuzion in this amount of liquid in here. When I did the video for Fuzion, I used the actual correct dilution 1:20. This one I kind of backed off because I wanted to see if I only put like half of what was being asked of, am I going to lose the performance of Fuzion? The answer is no, because it's still going to do its job. The thing is, you're going to notice that you're not going to have as much foam as if you were to use it in the correct 1:20 dilution ratio. So kind of just know that going forward. I think next time I put 2,000 milliliters of water in here, I'll put like 50 milliliters of Fuzion, and kind of see if that gives me that happy medium where I'm not using as much Fuzion per what's required of the dilution. Rather than dumping 95 milliliters, can I just put 50 in? Is that the happy medium where I get a good the foam is good and tends to stick. So I even changed the tip for the maximum amount of foam, and it didn't really do that much of a difference. That's why when you watch the video, it kind of just sputters. That usually happens when the mixture in here is not is mostly liquid. And just kind of that's what I was trying to tell you right at that point, and that's one of the things I saw when I was using the foaming pump sprayer. But overall, I think these two products work really well together. I recommend having both. I think they both do a good job, and like I said, use this as your foaming pre-soak, use this as your rinseless wash. You'll be happy. Like I said, I like both products, and they do a good job at that. So again, thanks for watching. The Grand Prix is clean for another week, and I'll eventually do another one with the wheels. I didn't get to it. I wanted to kind of finish up really fast. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.